What's up, sports fans? This is the NCAA College Sports Channel. It is time to give you the updated college football playoff outlook as we head into week number 15, also known as Conference Championship Weekend of the 2025 college football season. And yes, it's finally here, the weekend of Conference Championship Weekend before Selection Sunday. We are going to find out who is in the 12-team playoff field, and we do got the playoff rankings coming out tonight. Don't forget about that. We still have one more top 25 ranking show coming out tonight, and then we have Selection Sunday coming up on Sunday to find out who's in that 12-team playoff field. So this is the final updated playoff outlook video of the 2025 season. This series has come a long way ever since we started it back in like week number 2, and this series has come a long way, and we do got some new teams to eliminate after rivalry week of week number 14. So let's get to the new eliminations for this week, and then we'll talk about the top contenders that still have a chance to make an at-large spot and definitely win their conference as well. So we start here with the teams that were already eliminated. Basically every team in the Conference USA and the MAC are eliminated in those two respective conferences. We started eliminating teams in the Conference USA, the MAC, and the Sun Belt pretty much like in week number 2, I feel like, because, a two-loss team out of these conferences is not going to make it in. I'm sorry, I just don't see that happening. So, yeah, we don't need to run through every team here in this already elimination category. So let's go on to the American and the Mountain West. These are the teams eliminated from these two respective conferences. You got Charlotte, you got Army, FAU, Tulsa, UTSA, UAB, Rice, East Carolina, Temple, South Florida, and Memphis in the American Conference. And then in the Mountain West, you got Nevada, Air Force, Colorado State, San Jose State, Wyoming, Fresno State, New Mexico, Boise State, and Hawaii. So yeah, these are all the eliminations from the American and the Mountain West. And now let's go to the Power 4 teams that were already eliminated. Starting with the ACC and the Big Ten, you got Boston College, Clemson, Florida State, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Stanford, NC State, and Cal. Those are all the teams eliminated in the ACC. Then in the Big Ten, you got several. You got Northwestern, Purdue, UCLA, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Penn State, Rutgers, Maryland, Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, Washington, and then last week we eliminated USC. So these are the teams eliminated in the Big Ten and the ACC respectively. And then in the Big 12 and the SEC, you got Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Colorado, Kansas State, Kansas, Baylor, and then Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Missouri, and LSU. So yeah, these are the teams eliminated in the Big 12 and the SEC. And now we go to the new eliminations for this week. But before we get to those, we still have a couple of teams alive. James Madison and Duke. And yes, Duke is back from the dead. We can bring the Blue Devils back from the dead. They are playing in the ACC Championship coming up this weekend. If they beat Virginia, can you imagine a 5-loss Duke team in the college football playoff? Maybe that dream does come true here. Maybe that, coincidence does come true here. I mean, yeah, the Blue Devils are playing the ACC title game. They have 5 losses, but they can still have a chance to make the college football playoff if they just win their conference. So, yeah, Duke, they're back alive in this thing. James Madison is still technically alive, but I don't think James Madison is going to pass an American champion because I'll talk about that a little bit more later on. So those are the two teams that are still alive for a chance to probably make it in as an at-large team, or maybe to win their conference championship. I don't think James Madison has a chance, but Duke definitely has a lot more chance here than James Madison does if they do beat Virginia in the ACC Championship this week. All right, let's go now to the new eliminations here in the American and the Mountain West. You got 3 total. You got Navy in the American, and then San Diego State and UNLV. So Navy has 2 losses, but I don't think the resume is going to be able to be enough here for the midshipmen. Navy has to really pass like Tulane or North Texas, and they don't play in the American Championship. So we can go ahead and eliminate Navy. There's just not going to be enough on the resume, in my opinion. And then you look at San Diego State and UNLV. San Diego State has 3 losses, so they're automatically eliminated. They're not playing in the Mountain West Championship. UNLV probably still has a chance to make it into the college football playoff as a 2-loss Mountain West champion. But the problem is, though, I don't think they're going to pass an American champion because of the resume. UNLV doesn't have a great resume, and the Mountain West has just been really quiet this year. So I don't really expect any, big, jumps here from both of these teams. And then same thing with Navy as well. So those are the new eliminations in the American and the Mountain West. And then we go to the Power 4 teams. We got several teams to eliminate here in the Power 4, mainly in the ACC and the Big 12. So in the ACC, you've got SMU, Georgia Tech, and Pittsburgh. SMU and Pitt, there's no path for them anymore. They have 4 losses now. Georgia Tech, they have 3 losses, but they did lose to Georgia this past Friday night. I don't think there's a path really for them either, and they don't really have a great resume, let's be honest. Michigan, after losing to Ohio State, they have 3 losses, so that knocks them out of the playoff. And then in the Big 12, Arizona, Arizona State, Iowa State, Cincinnati, and Houston. These teams have like 3 or 4 losses. There's just not going to be enough on the resume in order to make the college football playoff. And, we probably would need to see a lot of chaos, to be honest. I feel like there's 3 Big 12 teams that are ahead of these Big 12 teams. And let's be honest, the Big 12 has kind of been dominant by like a couple of teams, and it just hasn't been that parity that we've seen in the conference. Yeah, there's still a ton of parity, and there's still plenty of close games, but the ACC seems like it's definitely got a lot more parity this year than the Big 12 did. So these are the new eliminations in the Power 4. Again, all these teams are not going to make the college football playoff because they're definitely out of it after, rivalry weekend, and the resume just wouldn't be great enough to, jump these teams in. All right, let's get to the top contenders and potentially some at-large contenders here for the college football playoff, and we start here with the ACC. So I think it's down to Virginia, Duke, and Miami. I mean, there is potentially a scenario where we can get a couple of teams in the ACC. Virginia, if they win, they automatically are in. Same thing with Duke. These 2 teams will play each other in the ACC championship. Miami probably still needs a lot of help, but what if they pass a 2-loss Notre Dame team because they beat them head-to-head? And what if Notre Dame drops out of the playoff field? That's definitely going to be an interesting scenario that will definitely play out, and I think there will be a lot of chaos and a lot of talks on Selection Sunday to see where these 2 teams wind up. I mean, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami did pass Notre Dame because of the head-to-head, but also they've been playing better football. I'm kind of anxious to see where these 2 teams are ranked tonight and if they'll put Miami ahead of Notre Dame this evening. So, yeah, keep an eye on that one. Again, Miami and Notre Dame is definitely a lot of interesting scenarios. And then again, Duke is back in this thing because they will play in the ACC title game. And just imagine, again, a 5-loss Duke team making the college football playoff. That sounds crazy. We go to the Big 10 now. I think it's pretty obvious. Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon, no change here whatsoever. Ohio State and Indiana play each other, of course, this Saturday. I think win or lose, these 2 teams will automatically be in. And then also, I think they can both get a first-round bye, to be honest, because I don't think they're going to drop that much, especially of what they've done this year. Oregon's probably going to have to play a first-round game on campus. I feel like they'll get that first-round home game, depending on where they're ranked tonight, to be honest. So, yeah, these 3 teams, they control their own destiny. I mean, Oregon is automatically in, and then win or lose for both of Ohio State and Indiana, these 2 teams are automatically making it in, so no question about it in this conference. Moving on to the Big 12, we got Texas Tech, BYU, and Utah. Utah still definitely needs a lot of help. Let's say if BYU loses to Texas Tech in a pretty bad, game, let's say, Texas Tech wins by a blowout, then maybe there's a potential scenario where Utah probably jumps BYU because of BYU losing really badly in the, Big 12 championship. But if BYU plays a close game with Texas Tech, I think they probably will stay in the playoff field, and that's also kind of the same way with Texas Tech. I don't know if a 2-loss Big 12 team, if they lose a close game in the Big 12 championship, I don't think the playoff committee can really penalize these 2 teams, and plus, they beat Utah both in the regular season, so that really has to matter here in the head-to-head scenario. But yeah, that really could play out. Texas Tech and BYU, they will play each other. If Texas Tech beats BYU pretty convincingly like they did last last time. And then if, BYU plays a close game, I don't know if I see them getting penalized, but if they don't play a close game, I probably see them getting penalized in that scenario. So those are the top contenders in the Big 12, and then we go on to the SEC. I think you're going to see a bunch of SEC teams in the playoff this year. You got Alabama and Georgia. These two teams will play each other in the SEC championship. Texas A&M, I think they're automatically in, and same thing with Oklahoma and Ole Miss. Now, the committee really penalized Ole Miss because of Lane Kiffin's departure from this university. I really don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out. I hope they don't penalize them because Ole Miss definitely deserves it. Vanderbilt, they would definitely need a little bit of help, just like Miami. I think we're going to have to see a little bit of chaos in conference championship weekend in order to put them in the playoff field. And by the way, Vanderbilt was behind Utah last week. I hope they jump ahead of them tonight because I feel like Vanderbilt would beat Utah on a neutral field if they played against each other. And yeah, Vanderbilt just keeps getting disrespected by the committee, in my opinion. And Alabama and Georgia, if Alabama wins, they're automatically in. Georgia, win or lose, they are automatically in. There's no question about it. But if Alabama loses, they might get penalized out of the 12-team playoff field. That's just how I see it playing out here in the SEC. And then we go to the group of 5. It's down to these two teams, Tulane and North Texas. The American Championship game on Friday, whoever wins this game, I think, is automatically in the college football playoff. I don't see a one-loss James Madison passing a American champion. These two teams definitely have like the best resume, and Tulane I think has a better resume than North Texas does, but still, this is a Tulane team that beat, Duke back in the regular season, so maybe, Tulane definitely has the better resume as of right now. And yeah, these two teams, I think the winner of this game in the American Championship is automatically going to make the college football playoff coming up on Selection Sunday. So as of right now, I would probably favor Tulane, to be honest, but I probably will make a prediction on this game coming up mainly, Thursday or maybe like tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned maybe for that video coming out tomorrow, but either way, that is the updated playoff outlook as we head into the final week. Not the final week, but heading into conference championship weekend and week number 15, and that is the final playoff outlook in this video as well. Thank you for watching throughout this series, and thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more on the NCAA College Sports YouTube channel.